Hello, and welcome to Dire Bear. It's Tuesday night. So, of course, that means we're playing Remnant Shadow, our Star Wars actual play. I'll be your GM for the night, Jason. And with me will be Duba playing Doc, Rappy playing Keltzer, Eric playing the Captain, and Sarah playing Io. Alright, I'm sure y'all all remember that last week y'all made a deal with CorpSec.
Deal, blackmail, one of the two.
It's CorpSec, there's really not a difference there. The important part is that you signed it.
I mean, I did manage to weasel in several ship upgrades in there.
This is true. But it's CorpSec. They wouldn't trust you if you weren't getting at least something out of the deal. They're just confident that they're getting more.
By the way, what was the exact specifications of the contract?
I'm not a lawyer, so I did not do up a fake contract to give you all the specifics.
Specifically the
Probably NDA.
Well, yes, the NDA, but the conclusion of it. Was there anything in particular that had to be done?
Like what we're looking for.
Yeah.
You have to find out what it is the Empire is looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and act as their agents in dealing with it. If it's time sensitive, or it's if you're the people they've got right there.
Okay. Good to know.
But first and foremost, it's finding out, what it is that the Empire is looking for. So last time ended with, you getting your ship upgraded. You headed off to rendezvous with a captured trade vessel. And they swapped its cargo over to your ship. And you are essentially taking this ship's place in making a delivery to Fibuli? I think Fibuli is how you'd say that. Fibuli. It's a planet in wild space, right at the border between wild space and the corporate sector.
Mm-hmm.
It's a relatively recent Imperial acquisition. Say within the previous year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the Remnant's encirclement of the corporate sector.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not as much in wild space as it is. I was looking at must have had the map turned the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Triani space, Trianii, which is a species. It's a cat race.
Yeah, one's mentioned last episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the bulk of the population on the planet.
Mhm.
Technically, wild space is kind of over to one side, and the important part is that it is just outside the borders of the corporate sector. So we start off with this week with y'all coming out of hyperspace at the edge of the system.
Mm-hmm.
You are immediately hailed by Imperial vessels.
Okay.
Whole way on the way over, I would have been just doing research on anything, certain traffic going up in certain areas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
A clue of where to look, kind of thing.
Also, what cargo in particular were we picking up?
It was
Oh,
supplies
okay.
and stuff. A lot of construction equipment, or not equipment, but construction supplies.
Mhm.
Apparently, the Imperials are still in the process of constructing their military base on the planet,
Okay.
or expanding it, or whatever.
Right. And when the pirates hijacked that ship, did we get the security codes that they were going to use? Okay.
I also believe that your ship was under a false name. Were y'all still going with the Bright Lakota?
Yeah, I think we went Bright Lakota, and CorpSec said they were going to have it, so the Rubicon looked like it was making just small deliveries here and there like we usually do on downtime.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yes, you drop out of hyperspace, immediately get hailed by Imperial vessels.
Mhm.
There's a nervous few minutes while they check the code, but they come back. Everything seems to be on the up and up. They give you a course. They tell you to very strictly follow it. Do not deviate.
Mhm.
The consequences are in your own head if you deviate from your assigned course.
Yeah. And he'll stick to it.
So you fly into the main inhabited planet. It's seen better days.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple of years ago, the corporate sector had briefly annexed it. And much of the planet kind of got bombed out. But it still has some of its industrial capabilities. You're directed to the one of the planet's major cities, Kananan, Knanan.
Fair enough.
Which, under Imperial rule for sure, it's the current de facto capital.
Yeah.
And it seems to be where the Empire is focusing all their kind of reconstruction efforts.
Gotcha.
As I mentioned last time, the Triani are the dominant species on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Cat guys, prehensile tails. They have quite a few colonies in this sector of space. Or it was there. Well, now, according to this, they are part of wild space. Maybe it's just their own subsection. Anyway. You're directed to land. On the plus side, there's no docking fees. There's no tariffs to pay. It's the benefit of working for the Empire, apparently. Maybe you should keep that in mind. Especially since the EDIJ is not here. There's no one to protest if you work for the Empire. But when you land, and an Imperial officer comes out, he's got his little data pad. Now, you were all being given false identities by CorpSec. Have you all picked out names?
I had not. Give me a second. Good. Fantasy name generator, go!
Really, with all the actual Star Wars specific ones out there?
Well, the actual Star Wars names, it's fancy name generator. They probably have a Star Wars section.
They do. That's where I got the captain's name from.
I mean, why create it yourself when there's a program that will literally just make a name for you, and it be canon?
Go.
Io just as Vera.
Alright, so Io is Vera. Don't know why you're naming yourself after Jane's gun, but okay.
There are other Veras in the universe.
But none of them matter to any of us.
Oh my god.
Kelter, what are you calling yourself?
Give me one sec.
And are you still in your Mando armor?
Probably not.
I was going to say, because identifying colors.
Yeah.
And Captain, what did you do?
Deltris.
Pardon?
Deltris. Deltris.
Deltris?
Yep.
Okay. And Mon Capitan?
The captain will go by the name Kane.
With a K or a C?
K.
And I'm going to assume that BL is still BL and Doc is still Doc. The Empire isn't going to pay attention to what droids are calling themselves.
I'd be very surprised if they did.
Though this would be Doc's opportunity to come up with a badass pirate name for himself or something. Bonesaw. Alright, but anyway, Imperial officer shows up. Got kind of a snobby attitude.
That's to be expected.
Before you're allowed to unload, he has to go through and inspect the cargo. He's got other people with him with some kind of equipment that they're scanning everything with. Apparently checking it for contraband, explosives.
Yeah.
When he shows up, there's there's 4 stormtroopers with him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a lot of armed stormtroopers walking around this place. Security is clearly tight at the spaceport.
Yeah.
Even though the port itself seems to be kind of half finished.
Mm-hmm.
But everything checks out. He quizzes you on where you've been. But it's all information that CorpSec was able to give you about where where your ship, quote unquote, so that the Empire hired you from and all that. So
Yeah.
he doesn't seem overly suspicious of you or anything.
Yeah.
He just acts like the job he's doing is clearly the most important job around. So.
Mm.
People in his position are the backbone of this operation. Nothing get done if supplies weren't in and out and security wasn't tight.
Yeah.
So they spend a couple of hours probably unloading all your stuff. The hold was pretty packed.
Yep.
Is BL down in the bay at this point? Did you have him guarding the door like usual?
He'll tell BL to stay in the droid bay for right now.
Okay. So BL stays kind of tucked out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Not that having him is illegal or anything, but it's the sort of thing somebody might remember if they saw him.
Yep.
In addition to stormtroopers, you see some Imperial security droids walking around too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you remember what your specific mission on this planet was?
Deliver cargo.
Well, that was the cover to get you in, but yes.
And then go find the agent that's trying to set up a resistance movement. If I'm remembering the specifics correctly.
Well, it's one of the few agents around. It's one of the few agents they have on this planet that has not gotten themselves caught.
Yeah.
And he is primarily laying low. Some thunder. But sky's still bright though. I don't know. But he is getting assistance from some of the locals that are trying to start a resistance.
Mm-hmm.
But it's slow go for them too.
Yeah.
And I think they had given you a hint of where to meet up with them.
That'd be nice to have.
Or at least like the password or something like that.
Oh yeah, they definitely gave you the passwords to identify yourselves once you get in touch with him.
Yeah.
And basically, they told you kind of what part of town he and the Resistance would have been hanging around in.
Mm-hmm.
Poorer side of town, dive bars. The sort of things Ozen would have jumped at if Jeremy were here today.
Yep.
So all the rest of you just have to pick up the slack and drink the swill. But the Imperial agent, before he leaves, kind of lays down the law. You are free to move about the city as you please, barring anywhere that's marked as off limits. And he tells you kind of which side of the city that the Imperial base is on. And as you get closer to that, security will get tighter. The spaceport itself does have a curfew. You're out past a certain point, you're not getting back in until morning.
Okay.
What is that point?
Like the local equivalent of 10 o'clock.
Absolutely no partying.
Not around the spaceport. You want to go out? Hey, you want to go out and party till dawn? You go out in town and party till dawn.
Just don't expect to come home.
Not till sun. He also gives you what the local restriction on weapons are. Basically, you're allowed to carry around sidearms, and that's it. Again, it's just kind of an overall security seems to be tight.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, they don't care what you've got on your ship. They're not searching people's ships for rifles or whatever.
Yeah.
They do advise you not to start anything in town.
Okay.
The troopers that respond are authorized to give summary judgments on any crimes committed.
Fun.
They will kill you on sight. Got it.
They will roast you like moisture farmers.
Wow.
I see what you did there.
So if you've ever seen the short called Troops, the moisture farmers did to themselves.
Okay, so Captain, or Kane, will be keeping his scout pistol on him.
Okay. How's everybody else arming themselves?
Yeah, usual little pistol.
Yeah, just have a blaster on her.
All right. So just your standard old blaster pistol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. She'll leave the stormtrooper one back on the ship.
Probably for the best.
Probably.
Where'd you get that? Imperial surplus?
My brother was a stormtrooper.
Ha.
About to look something up, and I got distracted by trying to figure out how a Twi'lek we get a stormtrooper going on.
I think I've seen. I'll find the art of it.
Anyway, you're authorized to be docked here for the next few days. They do give the incoming traders a few days to see if they can find any cargo to ship to haul back out. You do have some local businesses at work. And people just shipping kind of individual packages.
Right.
And with that he leaves. There's a lone security droid that stays around while the cargo is getting unloaded by y'all's loader. And now
droid.
y'all are free to go about your business. It's 4 or so in the afternoon, so you've got a little while before the port shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go out straight away looking for this guy?
We know a general area where he is, yeah.
You know what part of town that you're supposed to start asking around in.
Okay. Guess, yeah, we head there.
Okay.
Do we have any, like, what the guy looks like? Anything like that?
Oh, you were given a basic description. Human, dark-haired.
Okay.
That could be anybody!
Mm-hmm.
Waxed mustache. All the better to blend in.
Mm-mm.
And while the bulk of the population are Trieni, so lots and lots of Cappy walking around. The Empire setting up their base here means you've had a big influx of humans and near humans.
Uh-huh.
So as you get out further from kind of the spaceport, the central part of the city, you know, the population shifts more and more towards the local folks.
Okay.
So how are you going about looking for this guy? What is your strategy?
Well, first off, where did it say that he was at? General area.
I gave you one of the more rundown parts of town.
Okay.
I have a feeling poking around, asking the guy's name or whatnot will probably be a quick way to get him to go just hide more.
Mm-hmm. Also, poking around as a large group will probably be a problem too.
I will volunteer to stay back on the ship and kind of keep an eye on the chatter.
Okay.
Ozen's going to hang back with you.
Sounds like a plan. Keep BL from, or not BL, R2 from doing R2 things.
He has upgraded guns now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the captain will head out that way. Figure it'd be easier to find the guy solo than opposed to having a group of folks looking for him.
All right, so you're separating the
Do
party.
we have a name to go off of that was given to
Corrigan.
us? Corrigan?
Corrigan.
Okay.
We have a package back from home to deliver to him.
Mm-hmm. Is there any code words that we were told to tell him to let him know, hey,
Yes,
We're
you're
here to
given
help.
codes that you can tell him.
okay. So run down part of town in an area that probably won't have a large amount of human / near human presence. General description and codes to go off of with a name.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, the captain will go take a look.
All right. First dive bar you come up to. kind of run down, of course. Little flashing neon sign.
Mm-hmm.
The sign depicts what looks like a box. A little cat head will pop out of it every now and then.
That's adorable. I approve.
They're cat people. They probably like boxes.
How do we trap these people? I don't know. Get me the largest cardboard box you can find.
Just open a shipping container.
Now dump the mint in there. Catnip.
They call that spice around here. But you go in, and you're not the only, non-feline in the bar by any stretch.
Mm-hmm.
You even see what looks like one or two Imperial engineers over to one side slumming it.
Okay.
You sit down, guy comes up to take your order.
Description?
Uh,
I'm gonna keep asking this till we find our guy. You did this to yourself.
Fair enough, fair enough. Oh, this guy's maybe 2 meters tall. He's got a notch in one ear, kind of a calico coloring to his coat.
Okay.
Obviously not human.
Yes, obviously not human.
Dark pants, an apron, like maybe he does some of the cooking in the back as well.
Mm.
He recommends the salmon.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Can't have a cheeseburger?
Not since the Empire came to town.
Damn Empire, taking the cheeseburgers.
And the pianos, it's been awful.
Okay.
But anyway, he takes your drink order.
Yeah.
I ask you if you're interested in any food, but you notice nobody else around here seems to be eating either, so.
Why is nobody else eating?
No, you just notice nobody else really seems to have any food. Everybody's just drinking. Except the one guy in the corner that's some kind of reptile race. He's eating something, he's eating some kind of little bar snack out of a bowl.
Mm.
Every now and then, when something crawls out of the bowl and tries to get away, but it sounds very crunchy.
Is it Staska?
No, but it's a reptile. He is a reptile of a reptile species. So
That's why I'm asking. Is it Staska?
I was not.
He's not wearing a name tag.
I was not thinking about Staska specifically.
Is it Staska?
No, it's the wrong universe.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, he'll have a drink for now.
Okay.
Are there any humans in here that look like they match the very obnoxiously vague description we have?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you got the two Imperial engineers. Well, based on their dress, you're pretty sure they're Imperials.
Mm-hmm.
But like engineers, not like officers or soldiers.
Gotcha.
They are very obviously not him. The only other human in the room is a woman drinking at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
As far as near humans, you've got a male Tweely or whatever, but you're more or less looking for human specifically.
Yeah. So that's who we're hunting for. Yeah, I'll have a drink and just kind of nurse it for a while.
Okay.
See if the target comes in.
All right. While the captain's doing that, I know, Sarah, you said Io was staying on the ship, kind of monitoring
Yeah.
communications.
Yeah, she's gonna see if there's any channels that are trying to stay hidden, like communication-wise.
Oh, give me a roll for that.
What do you want rule-wise? Security or...
I mean, you will be trying to look for hidden stuff in the computer system, so.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a security roll.
25.
Hey.
That's not too bad. Let's see, 25 is in the very difficult range. Not a 30, so. You find a couple of secure channels that seem to have some traffic on them.
Imperial or non-Imperial?
It's frequencies that you know the Empire has used before. You would assume Imperial. You have found these channels and can tell there's traffic. You have not deciphered them. They're
Yeah.
encrypted.
She'll make a note of them, but for right now, she's not going to try and draw attention.
Okay. Keltzer.
Yeah.
So the captain was going out alone to try to make contact with this guy. What are you doing? Are you hitting other bars? Are you doing something completely different?
No, she would definitely hit the other bars and check them out and see what she can find.
Okay. You find a bar that's a little more brightly lit. It's run down, but you can tell the owner has tried to spruce it up. It's got live music. A local is in there playing a piano, almost piano-like instrument. He keeps trying to get requests from the bar goers, but nobody's really helping him out.
Okay. Anybody? So the captain was Did the captain know where the person was exactly, or was just trying to see if he can find them?
He's just looking for them. You're in the right part of town.
Okay.
And he does a lot of his business in bars. Is basically what the.
Okay. Do I see somebody that would be close to that description that we know of?
The bar you're in has a slightly higher human population than some of the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Though you don't see anybody obviously Imperial. Nobody's there in like uniform or anything.
Okay.
You see a dark-haired human, and you don't see anybody with the mustache they mentioned.
Okay.
Which is like the most specific descriptive feature they told you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did they say that he loves this mustache and would never shave it off kind of thing? Like, this is his pride and joy, his, child, his one true love?
They just told you that that's usually how he wears it.
Okay. Like, he could shave.
Just look for the man that's rubbing his bare upper lip and sighing every now and then.
Looking into the middle ground, mournfully.
But you get in there. A woman comes up, takes an order for you, or asks you what you want anyway.
Um, the sweetest drink you have.
Sugar water it is.
I'm just picturing like a hummingbird straw coming out of the Mandalorian mask.
I know I asked earlier, but I forget. Are you wearing your Mando armor, or are you
No,
in?
no.
You're in your
No
like
Mando.
alternate just vest.
Yes. Until she can get some more till she can get some paint to just, while they're flying out, be able to paint the armor different colors.
But you need some of that Halloween spray paint that just washes right off.
Right? That'd be pretty cool.
Which is when I see you somewhere where it rains torrentially.
Car drives by, hits a puddle.
Sorry, I'm getting a mental image of like from Phineas and Ferb. Oh, it's a Mando. Splash! Keltzer the Mando.
Exactly.
But okay, I want my 2 bar hoppers to give me perception. Go ahead and give me search, since y'all are actively keeping an eye out for stuff and things.
$15.
Okay. And what'd you get, Captain?
I got a 17.
Okay. So all in the same ballpark.
I mean, my max is an 18, so that ain't bad.
So, Captain, you notice a guy come in. Doesn't really glance around. Kind of, walks like he's got purpose. Straight up to the bar. Him and the bartender get into a whispered conversation. And then the bartender walks to the edge of the bar and kind of raises the, it's a little section of the bar that'll raise where they can get in and out from behind there. And that guy steps back behind it and then goes further back, into the back of the establishment.
Okay. And what does this guy look like?
Young guy, light brown hair, little scraggly beard, like he's desperately trying to grow one.
Okay.
I just described shaggy, which is not what I was intending, but anyway.
Yes!
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Can I have a Gotham sidekick that's Scooby?
He's not tall and lanky, though. And he's not in a green shirt.
Okay. Well, that's not his target, so he'll wait.
Meanwhile, Keltzer, over at your bar, a group of 4 guys walk in, laughing, cutting up. They're already kind of loud. They walk up to a table where one of the locals is sitting, and literally just grab the chair like they're going to pull it out from under him. But as they were walking up to him, he was already starting to get up. So they yank the chair away, but he's already standing. He grabs a drink and he apologizes to them and moves to the bar. And then they just plop down and kind of bang on the table like they're demanding service. The lady that took your order, you see her, she's handing somebody a table over from you their drink, and you just see her kind of roll her eyes, and it's like she takes a moment, fixes a smile on her face, and then turns around and walks to the table. Asks them what they want, starts taking the order.
Mhm. Real MVP right there.
Feel that on a retail level.
Yeah.
Most of the folks in this bar are not armed. All 4 of these guys are.
Okay.
Not heavily, but just blaster pistols on their hips. But very obviously not locals.
Yeah. She'll kind of keep an eye on them.
Okay. Captain, a little bit after that one guy came in, a couple of the locals come in.
Okay.
One of them dressed like he fits in this neighborhood. One of them dressed a little nicer than you've seen in this neighborhood. As they come in, the nicely dressed guy, he kind of gives the bar going over. He pauses at you for a second. Not overly long, just it's like he spots somebody he didn't recognize, but
If he just Captain sort of raises his drink and then goes back to drinking.
Yeah, gives you a nod. They walk up.
I mean, since you specifically said he spotted the guy, sort of pause and look at him. He's just like, "Hi."
But they walk straight up to the bar. The bartender just steps over, raises that little thing, and they go into the back. Keltzer, where you're at, these 4 guys they continue to get rowdier. They are, I'm sure they would say, flirting with the waitress. It seems a little more harassment to you.
Yeah.
From the way they, from what you've overheard of them talking, what little bit you've overheard of them talking, they all work at the Imperial base. You're not sure what rank they are. You're pretty sure none of them are just baseline stormtroopers though.
Yeah.
They've got a little too much personality for that. And some of the normal or some of the local crowd is some of them are thinning out a little bit. Nobody just got up and left as soon as these guys showed up, but more and more of them tend to be kind of finishing their drinks and taking off.
Okay. So a lot of the people are leaving after these guys came in, right?
And as they get rowdier and rowdier, yeah.
She'll kind of say in the comms, I guess I chose the wrong bar to be in.
Why? Is the food shit?
No, the crowd is, though.
It's near an Imperial base. What do you expect?
Yeah. I mean, there might be a fight here soon, though.
I'm sure you'll find fun then.
Possibly.
Captain, where you're at, a young trainee comes kind of rushing in. He runs to the bar. He raises that side piece himself. The bartender looks at him, looks at the clock on the wall, looks up at him. The young guy starts apologizing, putting on, the little barkeep apron. Takes the position behind the bar, and the older bar takes his apron off, hangs it up, and steps into the back of the establishment.
Okay.
Keltzer, at your bar, things escalate a little bit when a waiter comes out from the back. Well, he's acting like a waiter, but he's probably just one of the cooks in the back. But he comes out carrying a tray of food for the rowdy table. Only as he approaches, one of the guys sticks out a foot and trips him, causing him to spill, half the platter of food all over one of the other guys. So while three of the Imperials at the table are just laughing at what happened, the one that got the food spilled on him stands up and decks the waiter. Or cook, whatever you want to call him. Knocks him to the ground. The guy's trying to apologize. The Imperial kind of steps over and kind of kicks at him. All while wiping sauce, kind of off of his face.
Mm-hmm.
And the other three are like egging him on. He probably did that on purpose. None of the locals have a proper respect for authority.
Yeah.
You see a couple of more of the bar goers that, they're not bothering to finish their drinks at this point. They're just throwing a couple of credits on the table and hustling on out. One of the rowdy table, kind of yells at him as they're leaving, asking them where they're going. This place is dead. They really need to liven it up.
Kelcher's just not going to say anything. Because there doesn't need to be a fight right now. Because she knows if she says something, there's going to be a fight.
One of the guys yells over to the piano player.
Sing me a song, piano man.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Trying to think of what is that instrument?
Organ.
Wow, that's a name and a half. Nalargon. Alargon? Or Red Ball Jet keyboard. It's the one the Elephant Man at the cantina was playing.
Oh.
Max Reboot?
Yeah. The big key, big circle thing around him, keys. That's what the guy's actually playing. So one of the rowdy guys demands a song. That guy starts playing the song. The one guy kicks the cook a couple more times before he manages to scramble off and hustle to the back. Apologizing the whole way, saying he'll redo the order. While the waitress starts cleaning up the mess. The one demanding the music, he kind of scans the crowd because there's still several people in here. And then his eyes settle on Keltzer. And he just sort of strolls over. I haven't seen you around here before.
Kelser's just gonna ignore him.
Oh, come on now, don't be coy. There's music, there's open floor. I bet a dance would cheer you up.
You leaving me alone would cheer me up.
The two buddies that are not, that aren't covered in food, are watching this and kind of giggling at your responses. One of them makes a little throwing motion while the other guy pantomimes a rifle. Which is not improving the mood of the fellow talking to you. Look now, there's no reason to be rude. Clearly you don't know who you're talking to.
And clearly you don't know when to take the answer no.
Give me... Let's see. We use perception for social stuff. There's really not an intimidation, is there?
I wish there was.
Go ahead and use your command. Well, I guess that's the same as your baseline perception.
Maybe streetwise?
That's more of a knowledge.
16.
Maybe it's the way you worded it. Maybe, it's the way you narrowed your eyes at him. Maybe it's a combination of that, plus him realizing that you are armored and armed. He don't look happy about it, but he seems to finally take the hint and kind of slink off back to the table to where his buddies are laughing at him. A little bit later, a different cook comes out, watching very carefully where he steps. He gets their food put down, apologizes for the previous accident. The food is on the house. Please enjoy. Kelser, you see the expression on his face as he's walking away, and the guy looks like somebody that just tasted something sour.
She's gonna flag down the bartender.
Yes, ma'am.
If she's nearby. Can I get another one? And does this happen often?
She's like a little too often. She goes, it's a bunch of Imperial lieutenants from the base. I think they come to this part of town. I think they've been run out of the more high-end establishments already. But in this part of town, none of the stormtroopers working security will really do anything about them. We're in the better parts of town, they acted too big a fool. They might get a higher ranking officer might catch wind of it. And here there's enough non-humans here that the Empire doesn't care what they do to them. You know, they've never seriously hurt anybody. Oh, I mean, what you saw earlier was about as bad as it's gotten.
Okay,
They're terrible for business, though.
I believe it.
But yes, I'll get you another drink. She hustles off to fill your order. Meanwhile, Captain, another hour has passed. You know, the young bartender's just going about the job. You know, the server that got you your drink comes back and checks on you to see if you need anything else.
Yeah, I'll ask for a bite to eat.
He tells you what they've got, and you know, it's nothing fancy. It's basic, you know, meat on bread with sauce, you know, garnishes. That's about it.
Yeah, he'll take some. He's a little hungry.
When he brings it, it's imagine about the greasiest hamburger you've ever had.
Fair enough.
It's not super appetizing to look at, but it's okay. You're pretty sure you're not going to, you know, pick up any parasites from it or anything.
Gotcha.
But you can understand why the locals maybe weren't eating here.
Humans like this kind of food, right? Right.
Yeah, he'll eat on it a bit.
You know, about the time you're finishing up the burger sandwich, whatever you want to call it, most of those people that you saw go into the back room come streaming out.
Okay.
They just walk out the front door. You can kind of hear them briefly telling each other goodbye before they, you know, split up and go their own ways. By this time, it's probably 7 or 8.
Okay.
A little bit later, the older bartender comes back out. And, you know, just starts helping the younger guy continue on with the shift.
Yeah.
Business is starting to pick up. You know, you got there kind of early afternoon.
Yeah. He's just gonna kind of just take his time with the sandwich.
Okay.
When the waiter or the cook's not looking, just will squeeze a little bit, get the grease out on the plate, and then go back to eating.
That's how you know a hamburger's good, if you can squeeze it out. Those Wendy's triple burgers from back in the day.
There's a fine line between juicy and too juicy.
Between juicy and could lubricate, you know, machinery with it.
Yeah. Is this just a soup held together by a little bit of meat? Twitch is... Never mind. It was being quiet.
Oh. But okay. The you know, the night wears on. Kelter, how long are you planning on hanging out in this bar? You know, you've seen some other people come in and go. Some people have walked in, seen the rowdy table, just immediately you turn to walk back out.
Just close to closing.
Okay.
I will be delicately reminding everyone of the 10 p.m. curfew.
So is Kelso going to try to make sure to get back to the spaceport by 10?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then that's not going to be anywhere close to closing for the bar.
Okay. Okay.
So as you get up to leave, probably 9:30 or so, because you want to make sure you got time to get back. If you want to cut it that close, whenever. Give me an awareness roll as you're leaving.
Perception?
Yes.
Almost got a perfect 18, but that's a 17.
Okay. You realize pretty quickly somebody's following you.
He's just gonna keep on walking.
Okay. You hear the kind of shuffling footsteps. Yeah. Speed up a little bit, getting a little closer to you. How close are you going to let him get?
Thing. Close enough that if they try to grab her, she'll reverse it and grab them.
All right. They get up right. They get right up behind you.
Needle in the neck.
No, but they're not trying to. They're not trying to grab Kelter. But it is just an attack.
Okay.
So they creep up. You're braced. You're braced for them for like a grapple. But you hear something whistling through the air. So they're taking a swing at you. Are you going to dodge?
Oh yeah.
All right. Dodge, melee parry would also work if you wanted to do that. Whichever one you'd rather do.
My dodge is a little bit better.
Okay. So let me know what you got.
25.
Okay, that beats them without even having to add the difficulty to the actual attack. So yeah, you sidestep. A beer bottle, basically, somebody holding a beer bottle, swings past right where your head had been.
Okay.
The drunk guy that you recognize straightens up and just kind of blinks at where he thought you were. The rowdy table been drinking pretty heavy. He looks over at you. You didn't have to embarrass me back there. And takes another swing with his empty beer bottle.
We're going to dodge again. I get one less dice, right?
Yes.
Or...
Well, I guess this would be the next round, technically, so don't worry about that. Alright, he got a total of an 11, so if you roll much of anything, he's going to miss.
Yeah, I did. I got 22.
Okay. He's a lieutenant, fresh out of Imperial, military training, but he doesn't know how to brawl.
Then can I punch him after?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to shoot him, but he's going to come to attack me.
Yeah, 7 on his
22.
dodge.
22 to hit.
I'd say he's probably pretty well punched.
If he drops, she's going to let it be and walk away.
Roll your damage, which would be strength for you, just an unarmed strike.
$11.
Alright, that's
12.
11, 12
12.
versus his strength.
$13. Sorry. 11 plus 2 is not 12, it's 13.
Okay.
I cannot math today for the life of me.
Alright, he got a 6 on his roll.
I doubled his. A little over double.
Yep. So yeah, you lay him out. He falls back. He's not unconscious, but
As long as he stays down, she's just gonna walk away.
Yeah, he's just holding his nose, yelling.
He's gonna head back to the ship because of the curfew.
So yeah, you turn around, you start trucking it from the block, a block back or so. Where the bar was. You hear his buddies laughing at him, where they were just coming out the door, apparently just in time to see him take the fist to his face. One of them says something about his way with women is improving, at least. Captain, how late are you staying out?
He hasn't seen anything that looks like the guy yet, yeah?
Not yet, no.
How long did it take for me to get here?
Oh, 30 minutes or so.
How much time do I have until lockdown?
Lockdown's at 10. So that's what I'm asking you, how late you were going to stay there.
He'll stay until it's about an hour, 45 minutes to lockdown, and then he'll head back to the ship.
Okay.
Give him about a 15 to a half hour of buffer time.
Okay. So you pay your tab, or, well, they probably weren't giving you a tab, but, you pay with that last drink or whatever it was that you just had. Waiter tells you, hey, come back again. You have the crowd is building, as you're leaving. Not that this place strikes you as real busy. But one or two other guys leave about the time you do. If you had to guess, when looking at them, they're spacers too, so they're probably getting back to their ships.
Gotcha.
Do give me an awareness roll, though. Or awareness.
Yeah, sure.
Perception. We're running a lot of icons. That's awareness.
6, 11, 12, 13.
Okay. You too realize somebody's coming up behind you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to be trying to be sneaky or anything. They're not running. They're just catching up with you.
He'll glance back.
It's one of the local Triani.
Uh-huh.
And when you glance back at him, he kind of raises his hand. Excuse me, sir. And he just kind of catches up next to you and kind of paces you.
Uh-huh. Can I help you?
Hadn't seen you around here before. Spacer?
Supply delivery.
Yeah, we get a lot of those around here.
Gotta pay the bills somehow.
Couldn't help but notice that you were people watching, back in the bar for quite a while.
Like to get a feel for the planets I stop at. If they leave a good impression, then I'm more inclined to come back and do repeat business.
I see. You don't recall seeing this guy in the bar at any point, though.
Mm-hmm. Which is why he's not giving out any specifics.
Well, sometimes when you're people watching like that, you're looking for particular people. Were you looking for a particular people?
Not really. We just got here today.
Give me a con roll.
Yeah, sure. See, it's 10, 18, 23.
Okay, that beats his 13. As you're talking to him, you start to notice some other people on the street. There's a guy just across the street filling on a data pad that just keeps cutting his eyes over your way. There's another guy, kind of leaned up against the wall of the mouth of an alley, smoking. One guy sitting at the, I guess the equivalent of a bus stop. One of his little cat ears, it seems to be tilted over y'all's way.
Yeah.
You start getting this impression there's a lot of people on the street paying attention to you.
Yep.
None of them are making any obviously hostile moves, though.
Yeah, and he'll just go, friends of yours.
Who?
Yeah,
And as
all
you
the
gesture around, he
people
goes, I know some of them.
They seem to really like watching you, then. Popular around here.
People like me, alright. You gotta be careful with all the strangers in town lately.
And yet you ran right up to one.
Oh, just curious what had you in this part of town. The higher end tradesmen don't usually make it out here.
Well, I've been doing this a long time. One thing I've learned is if you really want to get a feel for a planet, you want to go where all the glitz and glamour isn't as apparent. You can see the real truth of the planet there. Its culture, its history.
Oh, what do you think of our culture?
Well, as I said, I've only had about an afternoon to experience it. Certainly intriguing.
I guess that's a very polite way to put it.
Well, I don't know you any better.
What was your name?
I'm Kane.
How long are you planetside?
Well, until I find a good deal to get some wares and shipments moving, or The imps kicked me off world. One of the two.
Oh, what kind of cargo are you looking for?
Whatever makes some money. Have I been getting any passphrases from this?
No, he has not dropped any passphrases.
Okay.
He seems to be trying to get a feel for you.
Yeah.
You get the impression that something has made him a little suspicious of you.
Makes sense.
And now he's just kind of trying to suss out why you're here exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it the imps had you bring in?
Well, it's no big secret. Mostly construction supplies for that base of theirs.
Yeah, they've been building that thing for a year now.
It's going to be a big one then.
Yeah, I think they're going to use this as a staging ground when they invade CorpSec.
Might be a slightly insensitive question of me, but why should that matter? Last I understand, you all had a pretty violent reaction to CorpSec trying to annex a few of your planets.
Oh, I could care less about them invading CorpSec. Just hope they blow each other back at the Stone Age. It's all the Imperial military that's going to be pouring in here that I am less than enthusiastic about.
That does make sense. Don't want your culture appropriated.
Or just erased if the Imperials have their way.
That's a fair point.
Really thought that was something we weren't going to have to worry about when the Emperor kicked it. But
Enough people stick around, find a figurehead to rally around, and you never know what remnants will stay behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we made it. We made it. Because it's ironic. We made it through the actual Empire without any trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's only after it fell that the leftover bits rolled in and started shooting the place up.
Well, I'd imagine they're a little bit more... not sure desperate would be a word for it, given the steadily building stranglehold around the sector.
Well, they can't expand. They can't expand into the Republic. At least not without it being a big fight and a major expenditure of resources. So they're just rolling over all of us smaller guys.
Well, it makes sense from a tactical standpoint.
Yeah, I guess.
Are those friends of his like following us as we walk and talk?
They're slowly meandering along behind. You're not getting any closer.
Would you like to invite your friends to join the conversation? It'd be a little bit less inconspicuous than having just a pile of you following us.
He kind of gestures so they all kind of group up. The forestman gets up, looks at the guy who's been talking to you. What's he here for? And says he's just trading. Getting a feel for our culture. Apparently dive bars where you do that.
Captain shrugs and is like, well, trading is what I make a business of my living on. But since we've reached this point of the conversation, might I ask what you all are following me for? As long as the conversation remains civil, I don't mind answering.
You were watching people kind of close in that bar. We were just wondering who you were looking for.
Well, there's an old friend of mine that sort of brought my attention that there might be a little bit of a trade sale here to bring supplies for. And me, the player, remind me of the guy's name again that we're here for, the agent? Corrigan?
Corrigan.
Okay. All right, my brain kept going Kerrigan. I was like, no, that's StarCraft.
We're here for the Queen of Blades.
Yeah, we're here for the Zerg. Hand her over.
What happened to the captain? Zerg Rush.
Yeah.
We gotta get off planet, quick.
Yep. Yeah, who knows?
Nuke it from orbit.
Mm-hmm. Actually, is there any phrases that we got that might be able to get dropped in casual conversation? That if these guys are like here sussing me out for Corrigan, that might get back to him.
Not really. It was more specific passwords that that you would just drop to Corrigan, and then he would respond with a password to identify yourselves.
Okay.
But do you drop Corrigan's name?
You know what? Yeah. So yeah, as a old friend of mine, Corrigan.
The guy that's been talking to you just kind of nods his head. A couple of the other guys kind of give a little, kind of stiffen for a second. Their hackles stand up briefly. They calm themselves down.
Never know where he likes to hang out these days. Likes to make a game of me trying to find him.
Don't take this personal, Captain.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of motions, and one of the guys steps forward like he's going to pat you down.
Blaster on my right hip, dagger at the small of my back.
Right. They check that. He doesn't take them though, but he keeps patting down.
If like one of them when they pat down like by the daggers, like that's one of the last things I have from my sister, so that had better not disappear.
We're not interested in stealing your stuff.
Making sure.
But while they're doing that, one of the guys running this little scanner over you, which you recognize as something that helps detect bugs. All right, come with us.
Where are we off to?
And several of the guys kind of have hands in their pockets now. If you go for your guns, my buddy's going to open fire. We're going to go see if you really know Corrigan.
Well, trust me, once he hears what I have to say, he will definitely be able to verify that.
Y'all cut down an alleyway, back behind some of the buildings, and then back down kind of towards the bar.
Yeah.
Getting a little echo all of a sudden.
Could be my mic, potentially. It was running a little bit hot a little bit ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, though.
So they take you back, not all the way back to the bar, to like the neighboring building. You go in the back door there. As you step in the back door, there's a couple of guys standing there with the whatever the standard issue blaster is that the stormtroopers use. They're on the inside, but on either side of the door.
Imperial gear?
It's the easiest stuff to get your hands on sometimes.
Fair point.
And they're shipping enough of these things in, he kind of gestures to the gun. that if one crate happens to fall off the back of a speeder, it doesn't cause too much ruckus.
What a shame that would be.
Mm-hmm. They carry you into another room, and in this building, it's mostly locals. You have seen one or two other humans or near humans.
Mm-hmm.
And then they walk into a little office area, dark, and sit at the desk. Dark-haired human, little waxed mustache.
So he'll walk in, like, Corrigan, good to see you again. And he'll drop the phrase, sort of, if he can weave it into a sentence, then he will. You never told me what the phrase was, so I can't be clever with it.
You drop it in. It's maybe slightly awkward, but not freakishly so.
Mm-hmm.
He nods to the guys. Yes, Captain. Have not seen you in some time. Please have a seat. And then asks you if you still like, and he drops the name of an obscure liquor, which is his response phrase.
Yeah. Well, Kane, of course I do.
So everybody except the all your escorts, I should say, except for the guy that initially approached you, leave the room. He's still standing in there. They shut the door. Corey's like, and he does pull out some liquor and pour you up a drink, but it's pretty standard stuff.
Yeah.
I was wondering if CorpSec was ever going to get somebody in here.
Yeah, your transmissions have been a little garbled lately.
And I can only send them when I can send them. But
makes sense.
Are you here with specific instructions?
Yes, I am. Everyone in this room good? Room clear?
Yes. He's my main liaison with the local resistance group. He's the head honcho of this cell, so
makes sense.
Don't drop anything specifically CorpSec top secret, but anything about my mission, he's good. He's good with.
We were here to link up with you and find out whatever the Empire is hunting for on this planet.
Well, it's not on this planet specifically that they're hunting. I believe they found some clue to it here.
Mm-hmm.
But their search and recovery efforts are being based off this planet.
Okay.
I don't know specifically what it is they're looking for, other than they're looking to find something.
And the captain, once that start, he'll pull out his comm unit and he'll set it to record function, not connect it anywhere, just to record the conversation. Okay. It's this is for the rest of my crew, and he'll set it down as they're talking.
So yeah, it's something old the Empire's looking for. He would assume a weapon because Empire. They seem to be willing to dedicate a lot of resources to it. Considering that they're currently working on getting ready to invade CorpSec. They've been researching a lot of information on Centerpoint Station. He goes, I don't know what the relationship is.
Does that sound familiar to me?
You're a captain, so yeah, you'd be. Centerpoint Station is a large space station in the Carillion system.
Oh yeah, that's the one that
built the Carillion system.
Yeah. Sort of the. I think it's the. Isn't it the same race that like built that asteroid base that we found? Similar technology.
Yep, supposedly the Celestials, quote unquote.
Okay.
Though it's an insect race that did the actual construction on it.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of theories on how much of what that insect race tells you is true, because memory for them and history for them is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, the captain will nod, like, well, it might be something in relation to the Celestials.
Let's hope not. Though if it is, it might not do the Empire any good, because it's not like anybody's figured out how to use Center Point Station.
Captain not mentioning that we found an asteroid base and managed to get it slightly working. So
this guy's stressed enough.
Yeah. If he suddenly found out, oh yeah, by the way, we found one of their bases and we got it working, that might be a bit of a problem.
And got it working is an exaggeration. You managed to access a little bit of one of the computers.
And we got the doors and stuff moving and the lift.
Well, Center Point Station is occupied.
Yeah.
They get the basics, they get the basic life support and door, that kind of thing working. Just not the big, gravity thing that can pull planets through hyperspace.
Yeah. But that we got some of their specific tech working. That might be a bit of a, you did what?
He does go on to tell you you're going to have to be very careful working on this planet. The Remnant's new Inquisitors seem to be based out of here too.
Yeah.
He's identified at least 5 different ones running around.
Lovely.
No ideal how well trained they are.
Well,
one of the
Captain will say Intel suggests one of them is their leader. As in the head Inquisitor of their order. Female, bit of a temper.
He pulls out a data pad and shows you a picture of her.
Her.
Yeah. And he flicks through pictures of the other 4 that he has seen. You recognize one of them.
Okay.
He's probably not going to be a problem anymore, though.
Oh, we killed him?
Yeah, he's the one that y'all fought on the research station.
He'll reach over, flick the image back to that guy and say, you can remove him from your problem list.
Oh. Well, that's good news. He goes, I have not been able to find out, other than she's in charge, I have no idea what any of the ranks are or how well trained any of the rest of them are.
Well, if they're as well trained as that guy, capable of being dealt with on a one-on-one basis.
Well, let's hope so then. I've heard rumors about the old Inquisitors.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all the information I've really gotten. He gives you a file on they cover some of the clues, that led them here, and and kind of what area they're searching. And their search is moving more and more towards kind of the edge of the galaxy.
Okay. more Outer Rim stuff.
Yeah. Most of the Inquisitors seem to be focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
Best he can tell. Of course, you know,
Okay.
once they leave this world, he's pretty well blind.
Yeah.
Now he knows in the base they've got a central information storage that he hasn't even gotten close to being able to access it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's isolated from any outside systems. You'd have to get into the base. And as the last CorpSec agent that he knows of operating on this planet, at least until your arrival, his priority has been to lay low and, you know, passively pick up whatever he can, but he hasn't been taking any risks. You know, the local resistance has been helpful in feeding him information, but you know, they're not fans of CorpSec, but they'll take CorpSec over the Empire. What specifically was your mission?
Well, I need to figure out what they're looking for. The higher-ups believe that it is a direct threat. I am bound by NDA to not be able to say any more.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Need to know and all that. But yeah, the Imps are very excited about it.
Well, if it's potentially a way to operate Centerpoint Station, then honestly, I would be too.
Yeah, or if it's any kind of device, even remotely on that scale.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen some of their tech before. It's impressive.
He's like, I've never been to Centerpoint. But yeah, if you want to know what the Imps know, you're going to need to get into that base.
Well, which means we'll need to get a way in there. If we can get to that information terminal, I have a specialist that I am quite confident that they'll be able to get right through that thing's security and rip out all the information we need.
Excellent. I hope they're human, because frankly, Captain, you're going to kind of stand out once you get on base.
Yeah, well, we've only got 2 humans on board.
Because the Imps around here definitely have the attitude of near human isn't near enough.
Fair enough.
You know, just
Let's figure something out. I'll have to figure something out.
If you need to contact me at any point, the bar you're at, just go in and leave a message with the bartender.
Anything in particular that won't arouse suspicion? I did notice a few Imperial officers in there.
They were just engineers, but yes.
Which, in truth, was mostly why I was just sitting quietly.
But he gives you another name. Oh wait, no, that name is already something in Star Wars.
That's the problem with playing in a canon universe, unfortunately.
His name is Han Solo. Wait, no!
No. A lot of times when I need a random name, I'll grab somebody I work with. So I was like, oh, Cody.
Mhm.
Oh wait, no, Cody is already a well-known name in Star Wars. Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are.
Though his name is ripped off from something else. Commando Cody, Radar Men of the Moon.
Idiot.
Old Imperial serial about guy with a jetpack. I think that was the name of the company, Imperial, or maybe it was Republic. cereals. I forget anyway. Unimportant.
One of the two. It was a cereal.
So he tells you, go to the bartender, leave a message for Robbins.
Okay.
And that will get it to me.
Understood. Any bartender in particular?
Whoever is bartending at the restaurant, or I mean at the bar. Like I said, at the bar you were at before.
So all of them are in on it.
At least enough to pass messages. They may not, some of the younger ones may not realize who they're passing messages for.
Understood. The older gentleman?
The older gentleman's full on member of the Resistance, so.
Understood. I will defer to him then.
Your escort kind of shakes it. Not that we've done a whole lot of resisting so far.
Well, what have you done?
Gotta tell you, so far we've mostly been stockpiling supplies, gathering info.
Well, those are important parts of an operation.
Yeah, a lot of the guys want to get a little more active. But the Empire is just moving so many forces through here that...
Well, is this a jungle world? Or more temperate?
Do not tell me you're thinking about getting bears with sticks.
Tiny bears.
It is mostly a blasted ruin once you get outside the city.
Okay.
Other than that, we'll go with temperate.
Okay.
Just because it does not give a whole lot. Wikipedia does not have a whole lot of information on this planet.
Makes sense. Well, what's the standard patrol size for any of their troops outside the city?
Outside the city, they do a lot of 10-man patrols. Some of them own, some of them are people paired up on speeder bikes. Some of them use larger speeders. They don't patrol too far outside the city. It's around the city. They've got some mining set up that they patrol around there. The vast, the empty wilderness between, they don't bother with a whole lot. But for most of it, there's not a lot of tree coverage or anything. You can keep probes watching from orbit and kind of tell where everybody's going. Patrol sizes inside the city tend to be a little smaller. 4 or 5 man patrols.
Makes sense.
Acting as police, hassling people. We're set up in this part of town because they don't bother around here nearly as much.
Right.
Though on the occasions when they do show up around here, it tends to be worse. Corrigan asks you, how long are you allowed to stay on planet?
How long did the Imperials give us?
I think they gave you 3 or 4 days. We'll say 4 days.
Okay. We have about 4 days before we're forced to leave.
That's not a whole lot of time.
I'm fairly confident in my skills as a pilot, but I'd rather not test my ship up against 2 Star Destroyers if I have to run.
No, he's like, no. Those suckers have been planted up, or have been parked up there for quite a while now. So chances that they'll just have to go somewhere else in the next 4 days is pretty slim.
Unless they suddenly got a message that said they needed to be elsewhere to continue their mission.
Well, if you have a method of doing that, I'd like to know what it was.
Potential idea, one that I'd have to theory craft.
Okay. By this time, you've got about 45 minutes before curfew.
Okay.
I say curfew before they close down the spaceport.
Right. Well, I need to be at the spaceport in about 45 minutes. Surprise the rest of my crew. So
Okay.
unless you have any other information for me.
He goes, nope, I think that's about it so far.
Hmm.
Like I said, if you end up needing my help for something, just contact me through the bar.
Understood. What was the name that he told us to give?
Robbins.
Robbins. Okay. My brain's going like Robert. Robbins. Okay. Alright.
Little did y'all know that Smith had a line that lasted for generations.
Well, that being said, if your people are looking to get a little bit more active, once you have enough supplies in hand, information, knowledge of infrastructure, it's a construction effort. That's the thing you want to hit.
Oh, that has definitely occurred to us. We have not been able to amass much in the way of explosives, though.
Might be able to hook you up.
Oh? And
Agent.
your escort's parked us up at this point.
I'm surprised you don't remember, my dear friend. I run guns for a living.
I don't know that you'd ever told him that you ran guns, specifically.
No, he didn't. He was saving it for an appropriately thematic moment.
If nothing, the captain lives for drama.
Yeah. And I have a bit of a stockpile.
You're going to hand thermal detonators out like candy, aren't you?
Well, here's the thing. He kind of back blackmailed CorpSec into handing him a lot of the stuff that he wanted, which included shit like that.
Fair enough.
So he's got a lot of them right now.
You get a thermal detonator, and you get a thermal detonator. Everybody gets thermal detonators.
It's one of the things that he requests as part of the stuff is he has 2 tons of scan shielded cargo that he could fill with stuff for.
I'm just picturing you walking up, opening the hidden area, and just 2 tons of thermal detonators come rolling out across the floor.
The tribbles in the TOS episode.
Mm-hmm. Trouble with thermals.
I just got this mental image of we strapping everything down in the cargo bay. You know, we take off. Io does some fancy tech shenanigans so she can arm all the detonators at once. Then we just like open the door, tilt the ship, and just literally bombing run the base with thermal detonators.
That problem fixed itself. Let's go.
2 tons of detonators on an Imperial base. That'll.
That might level more than just the base.
Yeah, it might. It'd be hilarious. Definitely leaning wholesale into rule of cool. But will it be feasible? Probably not.
I'm sure they have some sort of air defenses that'd be shooting back at you.
Yeah, probably.
But yes, the Resistance, he lets you know, it would be very interested in obtaining any explosives that you have available.
Well,
and if the cost of that was to use some of the said explosives, to help you out, well, they're willing to do that.
I did manage to acquire about 2 tons of arms and armament before I came here.
Yeah, your friend at the Resistance here is becoming more and more interested in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He'd love to know what you had.
Well, for right now, I can't get into the specifics. There's a lot of it, and I need to get back to my ship.
Oh, yes, of course.
If we can find a way to offload the cargo without raising suspicion, because it is in the middle of the starport, and I am supposed to only be shipping construction materials. Perhaps... Perhaps a few local businesses are shipping some supplies, and they happen to be bringing those cargo crates that they ship the supplies with back with them, loaded with a few supplies themselves.
He thinks he could arrange something like that.
He'll have to get past, Imperial security.
He leans back. Well, he was already leaning against the wall. And this is the local escort guy, the local Resistance guy. If we're making supply deliveries to you, they scan those coming in, but a lot of times they don't scan the speeders going back out.
Precisely. I am here as a trader, after all.
We send speeders small enough that they can just pull up into your ship to unload, but then you actually load them up, and then they just drive back out. That could probably work.
And for authenticity, I can buy some trade goods for you to actually unload should they decide to scan your speeders.
Oh yeah, we would have to come in with some actual supplies. We know which of the Imperial security details working there that are more lax. They'll still run a cursory scan, but they're not likely to look any deeper than that because that's just making more work for themselves. We just have to make sure it wasn't one of the gun-ho newbies on duty that day.
Well, I guess we both have work cut out for us then, don't we?
Yes, we do.
But until then, I do need to get back to my ship.
Of course. Corrigan stands up, shakes your hand. The Resistance leader shakes your hand.
The Resistance leader suddenly very glad he stopped this guy.
Yes. And he gets one of the other guys that came in with you to lead you back out to basically where they picked you up. So.
And then as they're leaving, he'll shut off the record function, pocket the comm link.
Okay. So yeah, you're hustling to your ship, You pass one of the security guys who just kind of glances at the clock. Cutting it kind of close.
Yeah, well, the drinks were pretty good.
But you make it back on the ship before curfew.
As they all get in, I'll go, all right, crew, group meeting.
R2, that includes you. Come on.
Actually, yeah, he might help with this.
From down in the cargo hold, you hear, "Can I leave the droid bay now?"
Yeah, you're fine. Come on.
Oh no, the droid bay's in that upper
Yeah.
cargo area, the one that can be used for fighters and stuff too. That's right.
Yeah, it is. It's in the what would be the fighter bay, but he just converted it into the droid bay instead.
All right, so all of y'all pile into the not conference room, lounge or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd say probably lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's probably the roomiest spot y'all got.
Yeah.
Adjacent to snacks and everything too. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, Captain will take a seat on the couch, pull the comm unit out of his pocket, set it down. I hope all you as the players were paying attention to that, because that conversation that he just had replays itself.
I was like, yeah, getting me in there is gonna be troublesome.
Yeah, just a bit.
Can't just like does motion to let goes.
Big fake wig.
Yeah.
You wrap it around the tentacles.
Yeah.
Little face paint.
Nothing else. I think all the cargo we acquired from CorpSec would be good enough to create a distraction, arming the resistance.
Yeah, that'll go well.
It'll be callous of me to say, but it's their lives on the line, not ours.
Yeah.
Once we get what we need, we're out. Our primary... I've only have so many heartstrings people can tug on. And this crew happens to hold all of them. I don't really give a damn about much other people.
BL speaks up. A wise philosophy, Captain.
So then who are we gonna send in?
Io raising hand. For doing slicing, I'll have to be one of them.
Yeah, there's no one here that's as good as she is.
I can't go because I punched one of the lieutenants out.
Do you know how many lieutenants are on this planet? What's the chances that you run into him again?
100% because you're the one running the story.
Look, I would have to have made a note to even have a hope of. Oh wait, Lieutenant Broken Nose. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
He has a wife and children at home. Was it going to be the kid's birthday?
Jason, it's like we've been playing with you for 3.5, almost 4 years.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
You're just paranoid. I think other GMs have abused you, is what it is.
Just paranoid, period.
You know what, fair.
Ooh, paranoia would be a fun game to play with y'all.
No, I don't need any more anxiety.
Yeah,
I make plenty of my own. I don't need any store-bought.
let's not do that, please.
You get 6 clones as well. You could be fine.
I was like, as much as I dislike it, well, did we take any of the stormtrooper armor?
No, we didn't have enough
Damn.
time. Though, he didn't pick it up on the recording, but the captain would say, well, the resistance have been occasionally stealing Imperial supplies. It's possible they might have some armor for more covert operations.
It'd be worth asking him, but we only got 4 days to do all this, so we'd have to make it quick.
Yep. I'm kind of concerned that left at the Empires after Centerpoint Station.
Yeah, that was some pretty high-end tech.
I mean, we were lucky we even got part of it working ourselves, which I figured would not be the best thing to mention in that room. Because most races, most civilizations really, I think, only get like the basics out of that station. Doors, power. Being able to actually get some of their celestial technology working, even only temporarily. That'd paint a very big target on our backs. But there's only so many ideas I got. I can help arm the distraction. As you can tell from the recording, there's a bit of a plan in the works to get the weapons to them. So they'll be able to actually start doing something. So I can arm them. They can be a distraction. Maybe pull things away, maybe pull troops away from the base. Make it easier for us to get in, but it's the how is the problem, and I don't have that information. You stayed here. Did you hunt any data down or anything on the waves, maybe?
There were a couple Imperial channels buried in a little deeper than usual. Commonly used frequencies, but I wasn't going to go listening in just in case they were listening back.
That's fair. So it'd be a shot in the dark then.
It's where we end up working best, apparently.
Well, we'll be at full strength once Ozen gets back from whatever dive bar she ended up at and stayed the night.
Yeah, she didn't. Well, no, it was Ozen stayed on the ship.
Captain doesn't know that. He thought she left.
I think she's pondering the cube.
Oh, she's still here. Oh, well.
Fell asleep, though, I think. Old people.
We'll get there one of these days, hopefully. So, we have arm the resistance, figure out some way to get into a very heavily fortified base. Under construction still, so there will likely be more weak points than normal for an Imperial base, or fortification, or whatever you want to call it. But still heavily defended nonetheless. Everything that we know is pointing towards this being a staging ground for invasion into CorpSec, primary or not. It's still going to be one of the main ones from the military buildup. Of the 5 Inquisitors that have been here, 4 of them are still active. We killed the 5th.
Do we know if any are still on planet?
I didn't ask. I was running out of time to get back before curfew. That'll definitely be information we absolutely need to know, though.
I'm sure we'll just stumble right on them if they're on planet.
Knowing our luck, that wouldn't surprise me. We've learned if it's just one of them, we can at least deal with that.
Unless the one we killed was kind of like, third-year Jedi.
Jedi?
You know what I mean? Sith, Force person.
It's also true. There's no telling what kind of combat capability their leader might have. Okay, so 4 Inquisitors, all of unknown combat strength. No telling how many stormtroopers are on planet, or what kind of defenses the base has.
I could try and look into that.
Stormtroopers are a dime a dozen, so there'll be, I mean, amass enough of them, it'd be a problem, but it shouldn't be terribly hard to pick off a good amount should a firefight need to happen. It's main thing, I guess, maybe the Inquisitors and whatever defenses that base might have. Could liaison with the Resistance, see if they have any more information. The Corrigan did mention go back to the bar I was at in particular if we want to liaison with them. So let's not go hunting down any more dive bars and dropping names. But I don't know. Sound good? We try to hunt down that information, get a little bit more planning on the way, arm the Resistance in the meantime.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, definitely see if they've got some kind of, if they have any spare stormtrooper armor. 'Cause I got no idea how to get in there. Aside from coming in as some kind of prisoner, but that wouldn't work well.
Yeah, we've seen how well that's worked out in the past.
Yep.
Just with us in general.
You've escaped the prisoners twice.
Well, we're not going to push our luck, though.
That's true. The third time might be the charm for the Empire.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not favored terrain for any of them.
I guess we could check in, or I can at least. Check in with Corrigan tomorrow.
Alright, so the next day, what sort of preparations are y'all going about? The captain is obviously getting in touch with Corrigan.
Yeah, one thing he's going to make sure to do is, before he goes to sleep that night, with everything on lockdown, he's going to go into the storage and make sure everything's packed up and locked down tight for quick move in and out.
Okay.
So basically it's like, unload, load, and then on your way. So it would look like the same time frame would be just took enough time to unload the speeder, then the speeder left. He doesn't want to have the speeder stay in the ship for an extended period of time because that'd be a little bit more conspicuous.
Y'all would be throwing stuff on theirs as fast as they were throwing stuff off of theirs. So.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the plan anyway.
Okay, so you get some of that stuff kind of pre-packed for that.
Yeah. And
goodie bags.
Goodie bags. Never did specify exactly what CorpSec gave us. I imagine rifles, maybe some thermal detonators, blaster packs. I do remember specifically asking for arms and armor is one, or arms at the very least is one of the things. The supplies he wanted just for his ship in case they had to run and disappear into space for a little while. Make sure they had plenty of supplies.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, any kind of your baseline weaponry is not a problem.
Okay, so thermal detonators, blaster rifles, pistols, things like that?
Yeah, anything like that, grenades.
Okay.
There are timer fuses.
Is that something that CorpSec would have given them?
It's listed in the explosives, but it doesn't give a damage thing or really say what it does. I'm just looking on the list.
Maybe something you attach to an explosive?
Seems expensive though, because it costs 50 by itself.
Well, how much is the detonator?
Oh, and a remote fuse is 100. Well, the detonator's 2,000, so I guess in comparison to the actual explosive, it's not that high.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that you might have a few of.
Okay. So yeah, he'll basically, as Sarah put it, he'll goodie bag stuff.
All right. So the next day, you get in touch with Corrigan.
Mm-hmm.
You can set up the whole delivery swap off thing.
Yeah, that's him being the captain. That's sort of his forte. That's what he's going to be making sure is ironed out and everything good to go, smooth as butter.
The Resistance does have some Stormtrooper armor.
Okay.
It wasn't something they were going out of their way to steal, but it was, that crate that fell off the speeder. Yeah, it mostly had the guns, but it had some armor in it too.
Okay.
But the mostly cat guy Resistance can't really put the armor on, so.
The captain would fit right in that armor.
And they are happy to let you have it.
Fair enough.
Especially as you're planning to give them explosives and other weaponry.
Io may also take a set of armor just to see if she could modify the helm just enough to get Leku in.
Modify the internals enough.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean,
I want to say you can.
I want to say I've seen it done like actual cosplay, but she'd probably have to fiddle with it. One of those things that have probably involved rolls.
Yeah. But you've got several suits to do. Say 8 total.
Okay.
All right. So while the captain's out doing that, is anyone else doing any kind of scouting or research or preparations?
I would be trying to get as much information as she can about the base as far as defensive capabilities, any kind of, aerial view of it, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Anything that is going to make stuff easier.
All right. Give me... let's see what the computer... Actually, give me a search roll.
Well, considering it's 46, 12 ain't horrible.
No. You find some shots from local news showing bits and pieces of the outside of the base. You'll find out there are some weather monitoring satellites that also take pictures that are civilian run, and you can't find any pictures from these of the top of the base. It's like the Empire restricted that.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to try to hack into that system, you might be able to find something.
She's trying not to bring too much attention to him, before everything happens. She would ask the captain to ask his sources for any information that they have on the base as far as, defensive capabilities, that kind of thing.
Okay. They give you a list of, patrol time, the best they managed to figure out the patrol schedule, what sort of weaponry they're armed with. The bulk of the security is stormtroopers and security droids. They do have a few anti-aircraft guns in place.
Okay.
Higher end models, lower end models, just neutral models.
Some of the anti-aircraft stuff's pretty high end.
Okay.
It cannot be dropped like fire on the ground or anything, though. They could probably drop it low enough to shoot a few buildings in the city, but that'd be about it.
Okay.
Only the taller ones.
Right.
So, if you're trying to fly into or out of the base, those could be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going in at ground level, they shouldn't be.
Okay.
They give you information on when construction crews show up and leave, because the Empire's got a lot of its own construction people, but they're also using a lot of locals because they're trying to get it done as fast as possible.
Right.
It is technically a violation of some of their security protocols to do that, but there's apparently some pressure from above to get this done.
Use it to sneak in.
That is a possibility. Especially if you're trying to sneak in, non-humans. Though non-humans that get on the base, period, are probably watched a little closer than anybody else.
Yeah, if she gets access to that stormtrooper helm, she's gonna spend what time she's not spending that day searching for information and compiling information, trying to modify that helm.
Okay.
Not really anything for armor.
Not really. I mean, it'd be technical.
Maybe like droid program and repair, since, well, it's not computer like components. It's at least some kind of repair, or even maybe starship repair. One of the two.
I'd probably go with the droid one.
Okay.
You'd be using a lot of the same kind of skills.
20.
Yeah.
20. That's difficult. Yeah, that should be fine.
It was like hollowing out as much as she can and still keep it functional for communication.
Mm-hmm.
Got her like up in a bun or something.
Wrapped around your neck.
Oh yeah, they're like around the neck like a scarf, like up the back of the head, over to like the top of the head.
You managed to cram them into this is not a comfortable helmet.
Yeah, no. She will have extreme headaches later.
But you rolled well enough that, stormtroopers walking by you will not have any sort of bonus to spot that something ain't quite right about your armor.
Cool.
Now, if they hear you speak,
Well, she's keeping the communication stuff intact.
Well, that's true. That would garble.
And it would be easy enough to like modulate it to where it sounds more masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Like just generic, like masculine sounding voice. While there are female stormtroopers, are not numerous.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Keltzer, is there anything you're going to prep?
I mean, she'd also take a stormtrooper outfit at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And get it all nicely set. Because she'll
Okay.
probably have to kind of get it fitted to where, how she would have her Mando outfit. More comfortable,
Yeah. You managed to find one that fits pretty good and make minor adjustments. The resistance can also supply you with the stormtrooper style blasters.
Isn't stormtrooper armor mostly based off of Mandalorian armor? At least like appearance and size-wise, it's pretty similar.
Kind of. I think.
Probably, given how the clone, given that the Stormtrooper armor is just kind of design-wise descended from the clone trooper armor,
Which was mostly based off of
and
Mandalorian.
it was even
armor.
more Mando looking than the Stormtrooper.
Especially the clone helms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was going to use the rifle that she got back on the mission with the kids.
Oh.
I stole this. I'm going to use it.
But you set up the
That's
delivery,
true.
so by the end of the day, the delivery speeders are showing up.
Uh-huh.
They're dropping off, foodstuffs, just nothing that's going to raise any suspicion.
Yeah.
Knickknacks.
Local craft items, just all kinds of
Stuff that a trader would acquire to go
Mhm.
sell off world.
yeah, or
Okay.
use or like food supplies that they'd use for themselves, any of that kind of stuff.
Then they'll load up the goodie bags about as fast as they're unloading the stuff.
One for you, and one for you, one for you.
Yeah.
The resistance guys are just down there. One of them standing on the truck, chunks a package off to one of his buddies, and then turns and catches a package y'all have tossed up there.
Yeah.
You're a finely oiled machine.
This is the captain's element. There might even be a sea shanty happening as this is going on. Who knows? Important question is, did they get everything offloaded, and did they get scanned on the way out?
No.
No, they didn't get everything offloaded, or no, they didn't get scanned?
They timed it properly, so they knew basically the lazier security guys were on duty.
Okay.
So the trucks were scanned going in, but not going out.
Okay. And did they get the 2 tons of goods out of his
Yes.
secret hold? Okay. So now the resistance is armed.
You are, soaked in sweat by the time you're done because y'all been loading and unloading just as quickly as humanly possible. Let's see. Corrigan is able to supply you with one one aerial view of the base.
Uh-huh.
Now he tells you, it's a month old or so the areas under construction may not be quite the same.
Yeah.
But the area where you'd be approaching from the city, that was pretty well finished by this point. So,
Was there anything previously underneath where it was? Any kind of like sewer system, anything like that? Tunnels?
yeah,
Former infrastructure.
the city's sewer system stretched out under there.
Would it be large enough for people to access in a pinch if they needed to?
Probably, though the Empire would be aware that it's under there. So there'd probably be some kind of security.
Yeah, just all available entrances and exits if need be.
Yeah. Let's see. He has a map of the sewer system before Imperial construction started in the area.
Probably hasn't changed too much.
Like he said, they might have, graded off areas or blocked off areas or. Given that they're in a rush, he doesn't expect they would have completely redone the thing.
Yeah, if nothing else, the map will help if the shit hits the fan and we have to,
Yeah, because the base is mostly in like what was an industrial area that got bombed out when the CorpSec occupied the planet.
if nothing else, it's an option that we have.
Yeah.
So, Doc, what are you going to be up to these couple of days that they're getting all this arranged?
That's a good question. Because
there's a fair number of droids on this planet, so you can walk around without drawing too much attention to yourself.
I mean, crap, that is a good question. Just in the regard of well, crap. Because they're getting ready to arm and do all that stuff. Will the captain be interested in gaining any more droids, or? Yay, nay, hooray.
Potentially. Depend on the droid.
Oh. I don't know if there's any medical work to be had, at least assisting the resistance, so he'd probably go poke around, see if there might be any droids looking to be hired or wanting a purpose to do something. Like I say, given what Doc is, unless it's anything really medically involved, there ain't really much you would think about doing. Besides just like, ooh, new friends.
Give me a streetwise roll, Doc.
Oh boy.
See if you know where the independent droids would hang out.
Probably not, but we'll try. That's all I've done today is try. Streetwise, where would you be?
I think streetwise is under knowledge.
Oh. Well, if it is, then that should be decent. 4D. And eat. 17.
Okay. You managed to track down a few independent droids. One is a bounty hunter that just happens to be on world at the moment. You got one that used to work in law enforcement, but when the Empire took over, yeah, he's out of that work. He's a bouncer at a higher end club now. He's he is nervous about staying on a planet controlled by the Imperials because the Empire doesn't really recognize independent droids within their territory.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been a problem so far because most people that show up at the bar just assume the bar owns him. So
Fair enough.
And there's plenty of like loader droids around the spaceport, but most of them are not independent.
Yeah, I don't know if Captain really needs any more loaders. Wheatley's got the good one. And again, you say he used to be in law enforcement.
Yes. Prior to the Empire showing up and basically shutting down the old legal system. And then he segues into this whole long conversation about what a sorry job stormtroopers do as law enforcement. They don't protect, they don't serve. They just sort of bully and beat you into submission.
Doc could ponder on his words as he rambles. And he'll just kind of quietly, like, just kind of reach up and just kind of tap his head for a second. And trying his best not to verbally say it, just kind of contact the captain. Captain, a word.
Yes.
Out of trying to assist in endeavors, I have came across a former law enforcement droid, independent.
Okay.
Currently working as bouncer at the bar. Or a bar. Be interested in hiring? He doesn't know if Captain can hear the rambling going on. He'd be like, he's apparently not pleased with stormtrooper security, as it were.
This is a police droid, yes?
Yes.
Have a grand time with us criminals.
That wouldn't be wise, considering the people we deal with.
Well, he's no longer police, but
But it's still part of his code.
yeah, well, maybe.
But, Slicer. We can always just kind of smooth that little part out.
What's his model?
May I inquire?
Yeah, you'd ask that.
You did this to yourself.
Fair enough.
What? I mean, like I said, unless there was something medically needed from the resistance group, Doc would know what really to do. So it's just like, well, I'll go talk to fellow droids. We have a bounty hunter. I doubt we need two. Especially one that might conflict with my owner.
I'm trying to find any kind of security droid that is not, the KX series.
But,
or like a variation of the old battle droids. You know what I was thinking? I thought this guy is a variation of the OOM series. So he looks more or less like a Clone Wars era battle droid.
Interesting.
This area was independent during all of that, so they go. You didn't have the great distaste for battle droids after the Clone Wars, way out here in the boonies.
I mean, that's fair. As long as it wasn't, trying to kill people.
I mean, it's not a B2.
What is the B2? Oh, no, that's just standard, isn't it?
That's the super battle droid.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I'm imagining it'd be more the standard, like, little cream-colored one that you saw is basically all the battle troops.
Yeah, with a little bit of red kind of on the shoulders and a little chest piece here.
Okay. Doc would ramble on, or kind of join in his rambling of, he does medical work for his bounty hunter owner, but his captain that he works on a ship for, they do good, but sometimes they have to bend the law in order to work in the way they need it to. And just kind of inquire if he would be willing for a change of scenery and a place that wouldn't, potentially have the threat of, not liking independent droids.
He'd have to speak to the captain, but he's interested. Depending on how much bending you did. He wasn't always in law enforcement. He goes into the fact that he was security on a spaceship during the Clone Wars, and how the captain, after the end of the war, the captain, fled out here and the crew dispersed, and that's kind of how he wound up independent.
Doc would try to paint some of the situations that have occurred, such as aiding the bird people, saving the orphans. He would really hit the high points, but kind of mention unfortunately, some things we had to kind of do not correct, but in order to save them, and the miners incident, trying to get them off the asteroid, things of that nature. It's
Well, the miners thing, there was no law violation there.
Oh yeah, no.
Saving the kids was going up against the Imperials. Which half the time when he refers to the Imperials, he refers to them as the Republic, but old habits.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to care much for them, so.
Doc would try to sell the high points of again, we're mainly a transport company. We transport goods. I'm not going to say that the goods are always, the best kind, but we got to make money somehow.
I wouldn't want to say we're smugglers, but sometimes we do a little smuggling.
I mean, sometimes you just got to get that one package to an area that most people don't want to do, but they'll pay good dollars. They'll pay the credits.
So, Trade Federation battle droid. Okay.
Is its name Roger?
It is not.
If it was, Doc would be like, why are you talking in third person?
It's an OOM mark of the B1 series. OOM security droid. Also known as a B1 security droid. Yeah, and the red coloring distinguishes them as the security version. But yes, he's definitely interested in a job that would get him off this planet. He'd have to talk to the captain about the specifics. As an independent droid, he'd have to be paid. And then he inquires as to whether you are independent or not.
He would say yes, but he was bought or he was hired of the services of a Mandalorian that needed a little bit of help patching here and there, and then the Mandalorian was then hired by the captain, which therefore hired him.
So basically, yes, I'm independent, but nobody else knows that yet.
Basically, it's like. Again, I'm running around with a crew, so therefore, i.e., they think they own me, or at least the people do. Makes it easier. Less semantics.
So yeah, he would come and talk to the captain. Captain, are you interested in hiring a security droid?
As I just dump this randomness in the lap, just...
No, it plays right into my plan. Last session of the game, Rise of the Machines.
I was going to say, pretty soon we're going to get outnumbered here.
You were already outnumbered, then you self-destructed all the buzz droids.
He's not wrong.
The loader droid is still depressed about that.
I mean, the loader droid will get a new friend.
Where did my little buddies go?
I have no one to play Sabak with.
Well, just BL and R2. He's pretty sure R2 cheats.
R2 absolutely cheats.
He's the master of cheating.
Right in that little compartment with his knife, he's got the extra Sabak cards.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sure.
Hey, new companion and a new droid to help shoot things with. Remember, us droids are just laser sponges, so that way you meatbags can continue on.
Well, he's security. He'll guard the ship.
Basically.
Him and BL are gonna get along great. It's gonna be great, guys.
I mean, they're both from the same manufacturer, technically.
So, not all brothers and sisters get along.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, if he's primarily going to be guarding the ship as security, then he'll be, bunking with R2 most of the time. If BL's not on the field.
But yes, as long as you pay him a fair wage, he'll join up.
And what is a fair wage?
I don't know.
Wait, we get paid.
I assume
like
everybody on the ship gets paid. Probably more, I say fair wage, probably more of a percentage. But anyway, so you've got the supplies out to the Resistance. You've modified the Stormtrooper armor in any ways that you need to. You have patrol information on patrol schedules, when the workers show up and leave the construction. Let's see. You've got an aerial photo of the base, slightly out of date, but not too bad. Is there any other information that you're wanting to gather ahead of the actual infiltration attempt?
Not that I can think of.
All right. In that case, go ahead.
Unless someone else has ideas. I mean, she's going over the maps probably like 55, 60 times in her head.
All right. It doesn't sound like anybody does at the moment. So we're going to wrap up here. It's right at 9.
Okay.
And then next week, we'll start up and it'll probably all hit the fan.
Oh, yeah.
Quite literally.
Okay, now I'm going to have a giant fan at some point.
Awesome.
No, you don't have to. It's fine.
Somebody to force push you into it.
No, that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to go out of your way for us.
All right.
Yeah, we're not that important.
Hey, Jeremy's in the chat with the what? I have no idea what he's the whatting to, though.
You're going to have to be much more specific.
They just woke up. If you heard us talking about a giant fan and somebody force pushing you into it, don't worry about it. You got here just in time for the wrap up. So I hope you all had fun. I always enjoy running for you. I hope anybody that was watching enjoyed it. Hope you'll come back next week.
There's other shows this week, but Jeremy's not here.
I mean, Jeremy, you can type it into the chat, right?
Why?
If they hadn't just woke up, I'd try to get them to do that, but they just woke up. And, not feeling bad. Going back to bed. Well, good night.
There's other games. Join the Discord to find out when they are.
Yeah.
Or if you're watching this on Twitch, look below, because I know there's a schedule.
Yep.
But I can't access the schedule for where I'm at right now.
Actually, I don't see it down there. Join the Discord.
It's weird. The ending doesn't feel right now. I'm trying to think of what I'm supposed to say at this point. Oh well, whatever other games there are, we'll be here next Tuesday, so come and join us then for Remnant Shadow, our Star Wars actual play. And we'll see you later.